And tonight we are joined by our coach, who is none other than the Coach Charity. And we are going to have a brief session since time has gone. And please let us ensure our mic is mute unless invited to speak. Engage actively in the chat and feel free to share reflections or questions. Then we are also streaming live on the Coach Samuel Iban the YouTube channel. And remember, registration was a must. So if you made it here at this session, you are in the right room. And I don't want to take much of the time. Allow me introduce our guest speaker tonight, who is other than Coach Charity Ayikoru, someone whose work I deeply admire, and she's our speaker for this session. Charity is a certified nutrition and wellness coach, a life coach, and a former banker with over 11 years of experience in operations and structured planning. She is also a founder of the Blossoming Women community and a mentor under women associations. She also does group coaching programs. She has spoken to women-led events in partnership with NGOs. She supports companies with wellness strategy sessions that align with SDG 3, that's good health and well-being. In addition, her areas of impact has been corporate wellness program designs, women's health education and speaking, faith-driven lifestyle coaching, nutrition and emotional eating workshops, membership for women-led organizations, and SDG 3 aligned partners. Please join me in welcoming our guest speaker. Charity, you are most welcome. We are really humbled to have you in this segment of this session tonight of our webinar, which is always prepared every Friday. To our members, allow me welcome you. Keep sharing your expectation in the Q&A. Without going far, thank you, Coach Charity, for honoring our invitation. As TPC members, allow me welcome you. Officially, the platform is yours. You're most welcome.
All right. Thank you so much, Silas. Thank you for moderating, and apologies again to everyone. Yeah, when it comes to technology, you can never depict or know what it's going to turn out to be. But before we start, I would kindly request us to pray, because I know what we're going to discuss is something deep, and usually we always have external things that usually try to disorganize that. So if we don't mind, in just a minute, I want to pray before I begin my presentation. Thank you so much for sparing your time to be with us this evening. And let's just humble ourselves and pray. King of Kings and Lord of Lords, we thank you for this evening. We want to honor you and praise you. We thank you that you have allowed us to have this session regardless of what was going on before, Lord. Thank you for giving us a calm spirit. And I pray that as I take them through this session, I pray that I may decrease, that you may increase in me. And I pray for good network, stable network, oh Lord Father. And I pray that this will be a beginning of a transformation in each of our lives, Father God. We thank you, we honor you and praise you. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, we prayed and believed. Amen. Amen. I usually don't like to do things without God, so that is something that I always want to begin with. All right, so let me just share my presentation. Since we have almost like maybe an hour to go. I pray that I'm able to keep time. So we shall also have a session where we shall do the Q&A, but I wanted to make this session in a way that make it so simple, because I know when it comes to health, we complicate it a lot. And as much as we are professionals, we are always chasing the titles, the promotions, we are chasing so many things, but we forget one thing, that is our health. So allow me share the presentation for tonight. I believe it is this one. And in case you don't hear me, or in case I drop off, please let me know, because I know sometimes when it comes to the internet, it can be a bit tricky. Let me first hide floating. You just let me know if you can see my screen. Confirm if you can see my screen. Silas, please confirm whether you can see my screen.
No, not yet.
Oh,
Yes, we can see the screen.
all right. Thank you so much. I was going to wonder. All right. So tonight we are talking about your health, which is your age, the overlooked secret the overlooked secret to professional excellence. As I've said, realizing or recognizing. So my name is Charity. My introduction. Silas already introduced. Begin. I want us to call. What is?
I think, Charity, you are breaking, but I think because of the network.
Was it me who just dropped off?
Yes, I think because of the network.
I think let me just change this maybe to MTN so that it doesn't disorganize us. Let me just change this internet.
It is okay.
This is what I keep saying. Usually at night, I don't know. And then I'll come back on, and then we can proceed with the session. Just give me a minute. I just want to be sure that I'm on another secure internet. Okay, as I try to get that, let me just share my screen. So we were already on the agenda, what we are going to dive into. Can you see my screen? Let me know.
I can't see the screen, Coach.
You can't? Silas, you can't see my screen?
Anyone seeing the screen?
Oh. You said you can't see my screen, yeah?
Yeah, you can see the screen.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, all right. Okay, let me just reshare it again. I'd taken it off. Hide floating, meeting controls. All right. I hope we can see my screen. I'm going to
Yes,
first.
please. What's looking for me that link?
Let me I'm just changing my internet. I'm realizing Airtel is not doing me well. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, Coach.
Yeah, sorry about that. I've just changed the internet. I was using Airtel, but it seems to be dropping off. Very, very sorry. Let me just dive into the presentation. Okay, so I'll be needing your participation on this particular slide where we're going to be talking about our performance review. Many times I know in our companies or wherever we are working, they always do an appraisal or the key performance indicators because I know we work with figures. So I want to ask, if your body was to review you, what do you think your performance would be? Would it be excellent? Would it be outstanding? Would it be good, average, or poor? So we can have questions such as, did you skip lunch again? Because maybe you were so busy. And then maybe you sat for 10 hours straight with barely any movement. Are you among those? Or you've been running on stress and then the late night deadlines because you're like, I've not been able to finish my work. They've given me so many targets and I need to hit my goals. So I'm definitely having high stress. Then maybe you keep having signals. Your body keeps showing you things like, oh, hello?
Yes, Coach. I'm getting you, but you're breaking. I think it could be
I'm
the
breaking.
network. Yes.
Oh my God, what
But
do we do?
continue. You can continue.
Okay. All right. So I was asking us, are you getting things like you're feeling a lot of headache, you're having a lot of fatigue, and then maybe your mood is not okay, but maybe because you need to slow down. So we are asking, is your body saying, no, thank you so much for finally resting and feeding me well this week? So I want us to be able to carry out this performance review right now. Where do you stand when you look at your body right now? Are you overworking yourself or are you giving yourself time to rest? Are you skipping meals? Skipping meals basically saying, I'm too busy, I'll not eat lunch, I'll not eat breakfast because I don't have the time to do that. I am too busy. So I'd love to know in the chat, where do you stand in terms of your performance review for the body? Are you an excellent student? Are you outstanding? Are you good? Are you average or poor? I would love to have that in the chat. Silas, if you could read for me what is being dropped in the chat because I can't see. I would really, really love to know before we continue where you fall. But I hope you can hear me.
Coach, we can hear you.
Yes, so I would love to make this.
Dropped.
The what?
I can't see my screen. Esther, can you help me and read that in case you're on?
Thank you very much. The messages we have: Dora Dido, average; Cobel Emmanuel, good; I personally, average; Tumwinzeri Rona, average; Remiinjo Kanyesije, average; and we have and Mr. James Muholdi, good. So far those are the comments that we have. We have Arnold Ariho, average. So most people are on average, Coach.
All right. Thank you so much. It's good to know where we lie because if in our day-to-day jobs we are able to be held accountable for our work, why not when it comes to our body? So I want to just reintroduce myself and just let you know who is speaking to you today. And I'm actually happy to hear my husband in the audience. So my name is Charity Ayikoru Mlondi, and I'm coming from a place of a woman who was broken, who had lost herself. I had gained a lot of weight and I just didn't like who I was then, and I had to rediscover myself. So it has taken me 5 years to be who I am and showing up like this today. So I'm a certified health and nutrition coach, and I also went ahead and got a certificate in life coaching because I recognize that there are very many issues in life that need to be addressed. And I'm also the founder of Zurich House of Health and Wellness, the founder of the Blossoming Women's Community, where it's just a safe space for women to come through and speak about their health, their careers, different aspects that affect us. And then I'm also a mentor with Women's Association Organization. I am also a former banker of over 11 years. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to neglecting our health, because of the fact that you're in the banking industry or in the corporate world. I'm also a wife. As I've said, my husband is in the audience right now. And we're actually making 10 years. We're celebrating our 10 years anniversary this very year. So I'm excited about that. I'm a mom of 2 boys and 1 girl. I'm also a firm believer of Christ. So whatever I do it based on God. So I'm basically a faith-driven leader and speaker, and I'm a strong advocate and well-being. So I use simple, sustainable health tools to help professionals, families, and communities to thrive before even crisis hits. That is basically to thrive before sickness gets you. That is to thrive before you fall into all sorts of things because of your lifestyle. So I'm here to really talk about our lifestyle and how it affects our day-to-day work or our day-to-day lives, especially when it comes to our career goals. So I want to begin this session just defining or simply talking to us what health actually means. I hope you can all hear me.
We can get you, Coach.
All right, just let me know in case I drop off. I pray our internet behaves very well. So what is health? Today, I'm not here to say that health is saying that you're not going to fall sick, not at all. Health isn't just about not being sick, but it entails so many things. We're talking about being in a space where you have clarity, where you have strength, where you have stamina to manage your day-to-day life. For example, your work, your home, and your family without always feeling exhausted. Not saying that you'll never be exhausted, but you're in a space where you can be able to handle the things that come your way. Because under health, I basically broke it down to several categories. We're talking about physical. Do you feel strong each and every day and steady throughout the day? And then we're also talking about the mental, because we know that right now a lot of things are happening in this world, and we're having a lot of depression rates right now. So we're talking about our mental state. What is the health of your mental state right now? Are you thinking clearly? Are you making sound decisions? Or you're in a space where you're saying, I cannot do life anymore? All right, we're also talking about emotional health. Can you handle stress and emotions without breaking down? Like, for instance, right now, as we're going through this session, of course, before we began it was an emotional toll on me, because I was thinking, is it going to happen or not? With that stress that was coming through. So I had to reach a point where I had to sit and breathe through it and say, no, be still, be calm, everything will work out. So you have to recognize your emotional state in things that happen to you each and every day. And then your spiritual. Do you feel grounded in your values and purpose, or for you, you're just taken up by anything that happens? Who do you believe in? Do you have a source that is supporting you? That is very important. So the health is not just about absence of disease, but it's just being able to handle life as it comes, and you being able to be in a state that you can manage that. So we're going to talk about the cost of ignoring health. And I think I love the fact that most of us were able to answer those questions at the beginning when we're talking about when we are rating our performance. In case your body is to rate you, most of you are saying fair. Some of you were saying not so good. And I believe I've not seen anyone who is saying excellent, because I would love to talk to that person. So anyway, what is the cost of us ignoring our health? And I want to bring into consideration the fact that we are considering even our country at large, because it's not just about us here, but the entire nation. So we need to recognize that the non-communicable diseases, I believe you've heard of those things like high blood pressure, diabetes, things like high cholesterol. It causes death of about 33% in Uganda, and that is quite high. And yet these are lifestyle diseases, meaning that they are preventable. But because we are living lives that are just, can I make it to the next day? We're not really paying attention to what we are doing each and every day. These diseases are really are really beginning to increase. And what do I mean by that? Non-communicable diseases means if Silas gets things like diabetes, unless it's running in your family, Even if I'm your sibling, I may not necessarily even get it. So you struggle with it because they cannot really be transferred to another person. So we have to become very, very mindful and realize that you can actually lose your life because of lifestyle. Just because of lifestyle. So what are we going to do from now, today, to begin changing all these things? And then we should also realize that healthcare in Uganda is the second leading cause of poverty. So we know that our healthcare in Uganda is not necessarily top notch. And even if it is, you have to pay some good amount of money to get the best healthcare. So what does that tell us? That we need to really reconsider our strategies going forward. And then just for you to know, we spend about $46 in a day when it comes to healthcare, especially when it comes to family setting. And then government only supports us by giving us only $6. So imagine that 40% still remains on you as the individual, as a family. So why wouldn't it drive you into poverty? So these are statistics that should really make us get out of our comfort zone and say, you know what is the best way of preventing, okay? Because as much as you're looking for a cure, but how do we start preventing this so that we don't reach at that point where we are going to hospital each and every day? So as we are professionals here, 70% of us, we always feel tired even before the day starts. I hope some of us can raise our hands in the comments and just say, I am the one. Do you always feel tired? Because as a former banker, there was almost no day that I would go to work and I'm very excited, unless the next day was a public holiday. I was always tired. Maybe I'm reaching home late. Maybe that day was just too busy. So for you to begin even the next day, you don't have that energy. And then many of us are just eating to survive. We're struggling. We can't think clearly. We're always tired. So why don't we begin asking questions such as, the knowledge that we are seeking, the questions that we should begin asking about our health. Why am I always feeling tired? Why am I always feeling burnt out? Because I don't want you to wait and go and see that doctor, and the doctor tells you, you should have come earlier. Silas, you should have come earlier. Those words will really break your heart when you reach that point. And some of us may be saying, I'm still young. I don't need to take care of my health. It all begins with you today. And I pray that as we go through this session, begin to think about your health, that even as much as we are aiming for the big goals, it is very good. And I absolutely support you on that. But your health should also be number one, because when you're not healthy, it means those goals will come crashing down. No one can achieve them for you. So why not start working on that right now? So today, I want us to focus on a new approach. What do I mean by that? Let us not only look at that time when we are sick so that we can now start running and say, I need treatment. Doctor, please prescribe for me this. Let's not wait for that point when it is becoming bad for you to run. If you're having headache, find out why you're having the headache. If you're always having maybe blackouts, you're always feeling dizzy, there could be reasons behind that. So don't take it lightly. I would actually recommend us to start going for checkups just to know, are we good or are we not? Okay? Because the more you keep waiting, remember that approach is very expensive and stressful. If any of you has experienced a family member who is sick, tell me how much you have spent. Some of you may be saying, but we have insurance. But does insurance cover everything? And in case you're falling sick all the time, you find that even the money on the insurance card gets over, and then you're getting back to square zero, or you're getting back to touching your pocket to pay for the hospital bill. So I want us to start looking at what different things can we begin doing, because it comes back to, are we eating right? Are we moving? Are we resting? Because these are the things that we need to do as a new approach, because Ministry of Health is saying, let us now adopt self-care, because at the end of the day, the hospitals are not big enough to be able to contain or sustain each of us if we're all to fall sick. So no one knows your body better than you. So start paying attention before it is too late. All right. So I'm going to take you to a science class, because I wouldn't do it justice if I am not speaking about, okay, now Charity, you've told us the dangers. Now, what do we begin doing? I remember, I don't know whether it was in high school or in primary, where we learned about the balanced diet. And by then, personally, it didn't make sense to me. But I want to present for you a solution that is going to be sustainable for life, that is going to help keep you out of hospital, that is going to help at least prevent some of the major lifestyle diseases, okay? So we're talking about nutrition, and I am a nutrition coach. So you should know this is very big to me, but I believe it's going to help us. And nutrition contributes 80% to your healthy lifestyle, all right? So we're talking about carbohydrates, or basically the 3 macronutrients that we need. I want to make it as simple as possible. So we are going to look at three of them. We're starting with carbohydrates. And basically, let's look at carbohydrates as the fuel, as the type of food that gives you the energy you need, okay? So we are looking at it because it helps you to stay alert, it helps you to stay focused and active throughout the day. So be very mindful, because look at the examples I'm giving you in terms of carbohydrates. You'll also be able to ask me questions later on. We're looking at things which are complex carbohydrates is what we are promoting. Things like sweet potatoes, pumpkins, matoke, maybe the brown millet porridge. We're talking about yams, boiled cassava. We are looking at these things because they are grown. We can see them physically grown and we can harvest them. These are the things that we need to start focusing on and start consuming, because they are going to start reversing everything else that you have done to your body till this time, okay? Because we're talking about sustainability in the long run. So carbohydrates are very, very good, but we need to focus on what we call the complex carbohydrates, things that we see that are grown, because carbohydrates are the energy, they are the fuel. It's more like looking at a car, you can't drive it without fuel, okay? So I hope that is clear. And then the number 2 macronutrient that we're looking at is the proteins. And what do these things do? They're actually the body's building blocks, and they help repair muscles, they support immunity, and they keep you full for longer. If you've ever found yourself in a space where you've just eaten something, and before you know it, maybe after an hour, you're already feeling hungry again. Maybe you didn't have proteins on your meal. So I'm encouraging us, things like beans, peas, granules, things like eggs, all types of fish, chicken. Oh, are we okay? Can you hear me?
We can get you, Coach.
All right, I just had recording stopped. Okay, all right. We're talking about things like milk, yogurt, especially the plain one. Those are very good sources of protein. So begin to look at your lifestyle and tell me, are you eating some of these things? Are you eating them occasionally? Or you're saying, this is not the kind of food that I love. All right, then the third is healthy fats, okay? So we're talking about 3 macronutrients that we need, that our bodies need. As I said, I'm taking you back to class and we're having a science session right now. So why do we need the healthy fats? Because they support your brain, hormones, and skin, and they help your body to absorb vitamins and keep you also full between meals. So it's very, very important to include fats. We have things like avocados, we have things also like peanut sauce, sim. If you have it, we also have coconut, Nile patch, or even olive oil. I know these are things that you may not necessarily have on a day-to-day basis, but in case you want to understand it further, I'll still be able to explain it. But these are some, especially things like avocado, those ones are easy to find. You can always include them in your meal. Maybe you're having rice, chicken. So you can add in some avocado to that meal, because when you're having rice and chicken, of course, I know usually most times the rice is a lot more. So you need to add the healthy fats, maybe like avocado, just to balance that meal. And when you balance your meals, it's going to keep your body in a state of where you're not having mood swings, where right now you're happy, the next minute you have no energy. So it's very, very important. So I am talking about us reducing, no requesting us. Let's reduce our intake of deep fried foods, okay? Things like Blue Band, packed snacks. These are not really the very best. We can have them once in a while, but let us focus on things that are grown more than things that are packed, okay? So those are the 3 macronutrients that I want us to take away from this session: carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. So these are just a few examples of the way our meals are supposed to look like. Usually you have the 3, the proteins, the carbohydrates, and the fats. So you can have just a sample of these, which is very amazing. And I cannot forget to talk about water. Water is very, very important. I know many of us may say, but I don't like water. It doesn't taste so good to me. But at the end of the day, you cannot survive without water. So the reason why we need to take water is because it also helps your body be able to move. When I move my hands right now, when I move maybe my neck, all these joints need water. It's more like, which example can I give? it's more like a lubricant, if I should say. Your body cannot just move when it comes to sending signals, when it comes to doing a lot of other things. Your body needs water. So if you don't like water, from today, just tell yourself, I'm drinking it because it's supporting my body, okay? But I'm going to go into details on how to make it even easier for you to drink. So we also have one more thing that I think we ignore so much, and those are the hormones. Sometimes you may say, but Charity, I've been eating a balanced diet, I've been maybe exercising, I've been doing a lot of things, but none of them is helping me. So it might be because of the hormones, okay? So hormones are basically part of our bodies, and I just pointed out 4 of the main ones that really affect us. And the number one is cortisol, which is also, in simple terms, it's called the stress hormone. What do I mean by the stress hormone? Many times we are under pressure, we are constantly on the go, we are constantly having to make decisions, and in this fast-paced world is under stress. So whenever your stress hormone is up, guess what happens to you? You end up feeling tired, you end up feeling so overwhelmed, you end up even gaining weight. So some of you may be in the audience and you're even struggling with weight. It's because maybe your stress hormone is very high, because when your stress hormone is high, you cannot lose weight no matter what you do. You easily become irritated. Now start thinking about your day-to-day lives. How do you show up? Maybe yesterday you didn't sleep well, and today as you went to work, you were quarreling with everyone, you were very angry with people. Maybe you didn't sleep well. Why? Because you went to bed stressed, and you're only thinking about this person angered me yesterday. Your stress levels are up. You can't even sleep. Okay, so we need to begin becoming mindful of the stress we put upon ourselves. Okay, even if someone has angered me, how do I still overcome it so that maybe when I go back home, I am back to normal? All right. Then we also have the hunger hormone. This one tells your brain that you're hungry. But you should realize that I know as professionals, one of the things we do, we miss meals. We don't sleep enough. We either eat too little or we eat too much. And at the end of the day, this affects your hunger hormone. Why? Because when you do not follow what the body requires, it's more like saying, I'm going to drive this car without fuel. Food is fuel to the car, but also the way you're eating that fuel or the food matters. So you need to start having a schedule of when you need to eat. For example, even as you go to work, you have a schedule. Maybe when you reach there, you have a meeting, maybe you have to respond to emails. You sort of have a routine. So also begin having a routine so that you don't confuse your body in terms of, am I hungry? Am I really, or am I just tired? What is going on with my body? And then the third one is the sleep hormone. How many of us in the audience struggle with sleep? Because sometimes I actually do. Or sometimes I find myself scrolling at night. You know, maybe you're on TikTok, and some of these social media apps are very, very addictive. So you should realize that when your sleep hormone is disorganized, especially at night, because when it's nighttime, the body says it's now time to sleep. But for you now, you're on the bed, the lights are on, you're on the phone, it already disorganizes that hormone. So you find you're not able to sleep. Yet maybe the next day you have to wake up early and go to work. So you find it's already midnight, it's already 1, you're still awake, you're trying to do A, B, C, D, and E. By the time you fall asleep, it's about 2 hours, 3 hours, you're already awake. You're jumping, you're already late. It has already disorganized your day. So the way we live our lives affects the hormones, and yet the hormones are supposed to help us be better. Okay, and then the fourth one is the dopamine, which is called the reward hormone. Whenever you're excited, maybe you've eaten something nice, you've eaten your favorite cake, you've eaten your favorite chocolate, whatever, you feel excited, you feel that happiness rush. It is very good, but sometimes it can also work against us. So we take things like soda, we take things like, all these processed food stuffs, cake and all these things, you find you become so happy. It gives you that comfort, you become so happy. But after an hour or two, you find your energy levels has already gone down. Your concentration has already gone down. Why? Because it is affecting your body. You're not supposed, those are not the kind of foods that you need all the time to maybe lift you up whenever you're feeling down. And I know sometimes we may use it and feel like, okay, you don't even realize you're working on your dopamine, or it's working for you at that point in time. And also, it can also help you in case you've set goals and maybe you've achieved them. Maybe say I've decided I'm going to read a book, at least a chapter every day, and somehow you've been able to keep up with that practice. So at the end of the day, that becomes amazing. You feel excited. You feel like I need to continue with this same habit, because when something makes you happy, you want to continue with that. So it can either work for you or against you. So if you're falling to foods that are not the best and they're always making you happy, you have to become mindful about that. So those are the 4 hormones that I need us to be very, very intentional about. Realizing that we affect them. So I want to introduce you to what we call the balance framework. So what do we begin doing, Charity, now that we have heard how dangerous it is for us in terms of lifestyle diseases, in terms of how much we're spending on healthcare? What can we begin doing? What approach can we begin using from today going forward? Yeah, that can actually help us be able to minimize some of these lifestyle diseases. Okay, so one of the things I termed it as balance, so maybe it will be something you remember at the end of the day. So we're talking about breathing. Whenever you're feeling stressed, anxious, as we have talked and said, stress is one of the hormones that will break you so much. So we need to find ways of reducing that stress that you're having every day. So whenever you're feeling exhausted, you're feeling some type of way, maybe someone has talked to you rudely, your supervisor, start by breathing. Breathe deeply, because this one will help calm your system. Maybe you are going to answer this person badly, but the moment you say, no, Charity, just breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, that will already calm down your nervous system. Okay, so I want us to begin looking critically. How can I avoid certain things, even if I see them coming? Health is also about your emotions. It's about regulating them, not just about the physical, all right? And then the number 2 thing under the balance framework, we're talking about always hydrate. Learn to take water. Most times when I was in the banking industry, I used to have my water bottle. It was my best friend. I think it was almost 2 liters. People would think I'm crazy many times, but I knew why I had it, because I realized I was having a lot of headache with all these meetings and all these things. At the end of the day, I was not feeling myself. So I started taking water. Some of the things that I began doing or putting in my water, maybe things like mint leaves, just to give it a bit of taste so that I can always take it. But also me looking at my water bottle in front of me would always remind me to drink water. Okay, so you can begin tracking your water. Maybe say, I am maybe 60 kilograms. How much water do I need to take? You forget that one of saying 8 glasses of water. No, get your current weight. What is your current weight? If I'm 60 kilograms right now, divide that by 30. If someone is there, please write that down. Divide your current weight by 30. That is going to give you how much water or liters of water you need to take per day. But if you've not been taking water or you're still struggling, don't start. Maybe if yours is, because mine is about 2 liters, I don't have to struggle to always hit 2 liters. But I know even if I do 1.5, I am still at least taking water. So begin by knowing how much water do I take, or how much water do I need to take, and then begin slowly. Half a liter, you can move to a liter, but have a bottle that you can always move with. Then number 3 is listen to your body and don't ignore the signs. And the beauty about the body that God gave us is it always gives us the signals or the signs. You're going to have that headache. You're going to find that you're gaining weight around your belly. You're going to find that maybe as you're walking up the stairs, you're breathing heavily. Those are all signs that you need to do something for yourself so that you do not end up on the wrong side of life. And then let's add real food. As we have talked about the macronutrients, begin eating real food. Real food are the things which are not packed. Begin eating more of that compared to the packaged foods. And then start nourishing your mind. That means, which books are you reading? Which friends are you hanging around with? Because those are very important. Because once your mental state is not okay, trust me, your entire body is also affected. Then create rhythms. As I say, that's more of a routine in terms of your meals, in terms of your sleep, in terms of your exercise. If you say, I'm going to be exercising maybe every three days in a week, make a schedule. Where do you want to exercise from? Where are you going to be? Maybe what will you wear? What time exactly? Be very, very clear, because that is setting realistic goals according to your current lifestyle. How busy are you have for some of these things? If you're saying maybe I reach home by around 9-ish, yes, then if you're reaching home around 9, ensure that the things you're doing, maybe by 10, you're already in bed and your phone is away from you, and just allow yourself to rest. So that is becoming more intentional about the things that you're going to begin doing for your body. They may look simple, but I know some of us may even know them, but why don't we practice them? Because these are the few things that are going to start reversing the damages that maybe we have caused upon our bodies. And then lastly, let us learn to establish boundaries in our work, with people. I was such a people pleaser. You call me and say, Charity, can you do this for me? Even if I am busy, I'll say, yes, it's okay, because I'm trying to please you. And yet at the end of the day, I already have a very heavy plate. Like, I'm already busy. So why are you saying yes to things that you know you cannot do at that point in time? Okay, so let's begin setting boundaries. That is going to help us be able to perform better at everything that we do, because we are going to say yes to things that we can manage, and the things we can't, we're just simply going to say no, or else push it to a later time when you can do that. So I hope that the balance method will work for you. In case you still need more help on that, I will highlight, but just keep the questions. I'll come back to that. I'm trying to work against time. All right. So what about in real life? So what do we begin doing? These are some of the things that I've already explained it in the balance framework, but in just real life, if we are to talk about it. So when you talk about habits are the day-to-day things that we do. So when I say maybe Silas, or when I say maybe Coach Samuel, or when I say maybe James, all I need to do is to spend a day with you to know who you are. And how do I get to know who you are? It's basically by me seeing what you do. And what you do are basically the habits, the things that you do every single day. So as we come out of this session, we are going to say, Coach Charity, I've listened to you and I want to do better. I want to do better for myself. I don't want to spend all this money on healthcare. I want to be able to, when I apply for that job, I'm confident enough to walk there and speak my mind, because I am in a better position. So what can you begin doing? If you've decided to say, maybe I can't go to the gym, let me walk. Walking is amazing. So many of us, I know, if we're in maybe whichever job you're at, you're always seated. Almost 24/7 you're seated. If it was not for you to go home, you'd be seated both day and night. We're always on our laptops. So why don't you become a bit intentional about walking? Maybe when you're receiving a phone call, just walk, pace around your desk area, or just that space that you have. Just walk around as you're answering that call. It may look small, but you're way better than someone who says, I'll sit and then maybe I'll just start walking at the end of the week. Imagine if you're able to walk every single day with just the small things that you're doing. Maybe you've ordered for lunch. Instead of them bringing it to office, if you can, or maybe to that day you have time to go out, why don't you take a walk to that space where you're going to have lunch from, have it from there, then walk back to work. Okay, so begin thinking about what small moments do I have that I can actually use it for walking. And even if if you include taking water, it's going to really help you be able to walk from your desk to the toilet. So those are already steps. It's already helping you build your body for momentum. It's already making you become stronger, and it's even making you to have more clarity as you move throughout your day. So as I said, walk like you mean it. Don't just walk sluggishly. Walk, like put your mind to it and say, as I walk, I'm actually exercising. Okay, so carry your water bottle, as I talked about it. Then one of the things that I used to practice so much at work was I would pack my breakfast, especially breakfast, because I know when we get to work, we are busy. The next thing we're ordering for chapati, for sambusas, the chips, which is already available. It's already convenient for us. So what I did, I went ahead and I bought a container, which I could warm the food. And then I also had a bag where I could put my food. Sometimes my friends would laugh at me, or my colleagues, but I knew at the end of the day what I was doing. It really helped me, first of all, to save money, and also to make better decisions in terms of being able to know what I need to eat. So these are some of the things that you can do. Or if you're saying, I can't pack food, okay, carry some fruits. Maybe you can have things like banana. You can have things like what else is there? Things which don't necessarily apples, such things. Or you can even carry some nuts, just to keep you in a state where when you feel hungry, you already have a snack, a healthy snack to eat. So let us begin putting in healthy foods in our lifestyle, and that will begin changing the way you're eating each and every day. When you begin putting in healthy things, even the desire for you not to eat the healthier things will start reducing, because that is how amazing our body is. It starts readjusting, okay? So you can always put reminders on your phone. If you're saying, I will not remember to eat healthy, or I will not remember to drink water, just put a reminder on your phone, so that at that moment, if it says, now it's time to take water, now it's time to take a walk, you have something to remind you. And then also, as we've talked about, sleep is part of productivity. So whenever you're going to, from today, since it's even a public holiday, try and rest. After this session, just put your phone away. Whatever stress is there, just leave it as it is and try and sleep. And then talk to yourself kindly. Don't always say, I'm not good enough. I am terrible at this. I don't think my boss is looking at me in a certain way. I don't know. Just begin talking to yourself in a way that will start promoting your confidence from the inside, okay? The more we demean ourselves, even the way we treat our bodies will always reflect. You're the one always going for the fast food. You're the one who's always making decisions out of the blue, because the way you talk to yourself always reflects. So be very mindful. And above all, pray for wisdom and health. I realize that we are always in charge in terms of our career, finances, every other thing. We always seem to have it together. But when it comes to our health, that's the one thing everyone that I've spoken to struggles with. So engage with God and say, God, I have struggled with this weight. I don't like how I feel, how I look, or I'm struggling in this area when it comes to my health and I don't know how to break through. What do I need to begin doing? So including prayer so that you can gain wisdom to now take care of your health is very important. And then I always love journaling. Begin to write down, today after work, I felt sluggish. Maybe after eating the food that I ate today, I really felt tired and sleepy. When you start writing such things down, it's going to help you make better decisions, or it's going to help you be able to know that the things that maybe you're doing are not really serving you and they are really breaking you down. So today, I'm about to finish this session. From today, I want us to have what you call a self-check tool. And in case you need, I have an entire PDF of this. In case you need it, you can reach out to me or reach out to Coach Samuel. I'll be able to share it with you. But today, one key takeaway I want you to have is go and ask yourself, or go and check your weight and ask yourself, are you happy with it? If you're happy with it, well and good, then how are you able to sustain your weight in a way that makes you happy in your body? So do you know your current weight? If you don't, it's very important to know so that you can start documenting or writing things about yourself that you may not have been paying attention to them. Then how much water do you drink daily? Have you been taking water or not? Or you may even find you're taking too much. So you need to be very, very aware about that. And then do you know your blood type or your body mass ratio? You may be here and say, but for me, I'm not overweight. But you may find when you actually go and check, you're actually overweight or obese. So it's very, very important. And then I am advocating for us to do full checkups whenever you can. Go and do a full checkup. Maybe check your blood pressure, check your cholesterol levels. Is very, very important. Awareness is better than you waiting for that time. And then you're like, but I didn't know. I didn't know. So this is your call to start doing a self-check for your body. And then begin asking yourself, how do I feel after meals? Especially, I know especially the one at lunchtime. How do you feel whenever you eat lunch? Are you feeling sleepy, sluggish? Are you having the energy? Always ask yourself some of these questions. So I have an entire PDF on these. Some of these things that you can begin, maybe you print it out and then you write down. It's very, very important. They may look small, but they create a huge, huge difference. So I know I've taken it a bit fast, but I'll just chase in time. But Azuri House of Health and Wellness, it's a registered company, and I am very, very passionate about being able to show people how to live well, they can eat smart and even prevent illnesses, because we know that lasting health starts with everyday choices. So I'm inviting you, in case you still need support, we do one-on-one coaching, we do group coaching. We also offer workplace wellness talks, because those trainings are very, very important. And I've said we also offer the digital products in case you need a meal plan and say, I don't know what to eat. We can also help you be able to structure one so that it can support you in your goals. And then we also offer consultations and partnerships and wellness talks. So in case you're in need of any of these, please do not hesitate to contact us. We shall be able to help you on that. All right. So I just wanted to give you real life examples with the past clients that we have had when it comes to us supporting health. So one of the things that we talked about was high blood pressure. This on the right, is it on the left? When you look at these numbers, the first one is 184, the second is 127. So this client had very high blood pressure, and the doctor told her, you need to go and work on your lifestyle, basically. Because many times you go to the doctor and all they tell us is work on your lifestyle, but they don't tell you exactly what you need to do. So this client came to me, and when she went back for the next checkup, her pressure levels had come down, and the doctor told her, keep doing what it is that you're doing. And since then, she has been able to manage her high blood pressure. So whatever it is that I'm telling you works, it really works, but you need the right knowledge and guidance. The second person was telling me how they were excited. They already lost they were at 86 kilograms and they had come to 76 kilograms. Also, their pressure had gone down. So we see that with better health, everything works out. Your body starts to readjust and you get to a point where you're now appreciating where you're at. And then this last person says, I feel more energized throughout the day, no more headaches, no more fatigue and stress. So far, I'm really happy with how my body is responding. So as you can see, once you work with your body and not against it, it will support you. Let's not wait for us to get older and say, oh my God, I wish I did these things when I was younger. And even as we get older, remember, the older we get, your body now does not support you as much as it used to do before. So it means you have to start putting in place some things that can actually support your body to perform better. Okay? So I think that's the end of my presentation this evening. I just want to say thank you for hanging in there. And I hope we have made a lot of sense, or I've made a lot of sense. And I just wanted to leave you with this one thing, that you're not too busy to care for your health. You're too valuable not to. So your health has to come first. And in case you want to reach out, that's my email. On LinkedIn, let's connect. I'm Coach Charity Ayikoru, and that's my WhatsApp number. You can always reach out to me and I can be able to support you. So thank you so much. That is the very end of my presentation. Let me just stop sharing. That is it from me.
All right. Thank you, Coach Richard, for having shared a rich and insightful presentation. And members, keep sharing your questions, inquiries, in case you need to know more about how health matters. And before I go to the Q&A, allow me ask one or two questions to you, Coach. Many professionals feel they don't have time to focus on health due to demanding schedules. What are these practical steps can one who is on this call begin prioritizing for wellness without feeling overwhelmed? Back to you, Coach.
All right, that's a very good question, but I believe I even answered it in the session, because all of us, if you don't put your health first, or if you always say, I am busy, all of us are busy. I have a family I have to take care of. I have a business. I have other obligations. So my life is busy. But I said at the end of the day, how much more do I need to input in terms of why should I put myself at risk? And then I'm the one ending up in hospital. No, I'll end up in hospital. Your manager will just say, oh, sorry, Esther. Sorry, Victor. Sorry, Frank. No one is going to come and say, oh, let me take up the burden. This person is not feeling well. I remember one time I was on cannula. I was so sick, but I had to work. They even told me, we cannot send anyone today. I was a supervisor at the branch. So supervisors, we hold everything, keys, everything. So they couldn't just release me. They told me work the whole day and then tomorrow don't come. So I was on cannula working. So at the end of the day, you will lose your life simply because you're saying, I am too busy. So from today, I want to request us, don't assume that you have all the time in this world. Start working on yourself. Simple things, as I've said, carry your water bottles. Just have your water with you. If you can carry some food to work, you have the time to make it, please do. Become mindful of the things you're eating. Those are very, very important things. How you speak to yourself, how you regulate your emotions. These are some simple things you can begin doing. And the impact will always show in the long run. Okay, we are not saying do everything at once, make it perfect. Even as you're going to the gym, have a goal that I'm going, it's not for me to have maybe the muscles. It's just for me to be in a state where I am strong enough, I can handle what comes my way, okay? So the reasons we are giving what we are doing have to matter. Don't wait for the doctor to tell you, I wish you came earlier. Don't wait for that. So with the examples I've given you, I believe you can start fixing some time. Even if I'm to look at your day and you say you're so busy, I can even find 3 hours you're on the phone scrolling, or 3 hours you're gossiping, doing other things. I'm going to call us out today because I was that person. I didn't have that time. And yes, there are some weeks where you find they're extremely busy, which is understandable. But you having the wisdom or the knowledge behind that as long as I continue like this, it's going to affect me. I believe it will help you start prioritizing some things. That is what I can say about that, Silas.
Thank you very much, Coach Charity, for having shared and answered. I think I'm really humbled and honored to having hosted you. And I think you are speaking to a person who has been also going through a lot of such a challenge with health-related issues. And as per now, I'm also still on medication, but looking forward to have a one-on-one session. So allow me go to the Q&A, but I would like to request my sister Esther. My screen has disappeared to help me and share out, read for me the questions, inquiries from team members on the call. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cyrus. Thank you very much, Coach, for the session. It has been really wonderful. And so far, the messages I see here, I think Marion Alinda was adding on. She was just saying, and Chukamba, I think she was adding on to something on the session. And then Marion Alinda, she had a question, and how do you handle your internal dialogue during challenging times when things aren't going as expected? Because sometimes it causes lack of sleep and lots of anxiety. That is the question from Marion Arinda. And then the rest, Stella and Bekeka, she was just appreciating. Thank you so much, Coach Charity. God bless you. Thank you for calling us out. Health is wealth. And then Cobel Emmanuel Victor was also appreciating. Thank you so much, Coach. So far we have only one question from Marion Alinda. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Esther. I think to Marion, life can never be perfect at all. I always say that. And I think I was that one person who was running to ensure that it becomes perfect. Okay. So many times I'm in a state where I have learned how to have internal dialogue. I ask myself, okay, maybe my child is not okay. At work, they abused me. My performance is not really doing so well. I don't have finances right now. You see everything falling down. But when you worry at the end of the day, worry is not going to bring any solution at all. And because you're worried, now you cannot sleep and it's causing you a lot of anxiety. And remember, as we talked about the hormones and how they affect your body, whether negatively or positively, it still comes back to you. So I want you to tell yourself that as Marion, life is never going to be perfect, never at all. As I speak here, my son came crying. He's not feeling well. I would have already said, let me cancel this. But I've reached a point where I've said, I know how I'm going to handle this. I always tell myself, Charity, calm down, breathe in. I know nothing's working out, but just all will be well at the right time. So I'm learning to process my own emotions. So for you, don't run away from what is happening, but just talk to yourself and say, it's not how I want it to be, but I know it will work out. That's why I've said, have God, if possible. Have God that you can turn to and cry to and say, the Bible says A, B, C, D, and E. How do I handle this situation? Because no one will give you a concrete answer that, okay, go and read this book, you're going to feel much better. But one thing that I know is when I turn to scripture to help me feel calm, even in a storm, that is how I'm able to move through those challenging times, okay? Because when you're able to be calm, you end up making better decisions, you end up eating better, regardless of that, okay? And you end up having even a peaceful night. That is what we call peace that surpasses all understanding. So it can never be perfect for all of us. It can never be perfect. But that season will come to an end at its right time. The question is, how are you handling that season? How are you managing that season? Begin processing your emotions during that season, okay? So I don't think I'll give you this is the only thing you need to do. Process your emotions and speak to God and ask him, how do we navigate this? And at the end of the day, you come out victorious. I can assure you. I can assure you. So I don't know. Any more questions? I expected you to ask me about food, things that can be able to really ground you. And Marion, in case you can reach out, please, if you can reach out to me, we can have a deeper conversation. I feel like this goes deeper than here. So I'm giving you an open invitation. Please reach out to me. I'll be able to take you through some things.
All right, Coach Charity. Thank you once again for sharing such a wonderful information. I'm requesting anyone who would like to speak directly to a coach who has a question can raise up the hand and be given a floor. Thank you.
This is your opportunity. Please ask me any question about your health and how it can support you. Oh, I hope this has made sense, and I hope you're just digesting. Many times when people don't ask questions.
Right. I think we don't have anyone so far. Allow me welcome.
I see
Coach
Marion's
Sam.
hand is up.
All right. Can be given opportunity. Marion, you can unmute.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Coach Charity. Well, I have a question on foods because sometimes they tell us, for instance, I will give an example of one of one of my workmates. We were told, like she had been told, don't take sugars, don't take milk, stop eating meat. So when she had that, she really stopped like eating everything that she was being told. But I think this was like a professional doctor or something, because nowadays everyone just comes up with something like, stop doing this, don't do that, don't do that. So she stopped. And shortly after that, after her practice, that she started getting complications with her health. She went to the hospital, and then she was told, your body is lacking sugars. You have like less sugars, like your body is missing some food values from those specific foods she was stopped. Then the doctor was like, you know what, you're going to start taking like the products like milk. You have to you eat meat, start eating meat, you're lacking some food values. So how do you advise us, like how should we go about it? Because everyone tells you, don't eat this. If you stop eating it, you go to the hospital, they tell you, eat this. Like how should we handle? How? I'm confused. Like how? We can't survive all on greens and cabbage and katunkuma. I mean, like, we have to eat some chicken, some meat if we can, but how can you advise us in what quantity so that we benefit from the foods we are eating, not to get excess, but also not to overdo it? Thank you.
All right, that's a very, very good question. And I think when it comes to health, I would love to know, by that time she was told, don't do this, don't do that. If it was a doctor, and that's why I say I bridge that gap, because you go to the doctor and they'll tell you, don't do this, don't do that, but they don't really explain to you why. So one of the reasons in their defense, if I should say, sometimes you can get a disease and you're actually not supposed to eat certain meals, or maybe you have maybe high cholesterol, you have high pressure. They may tell you don't eat salt, don't eat, you're mostly on boiled foods, just because they need to reduce on the impact that it has caused to your body. So you having the knowledge and saying, okay, so if I'm not supposed to eat this, then what do I need to eat? So sometimes maybe because of the disease that you are battling at that point in time, okay? So, but when it comes to having nutritional knowledge, you need to know that don't just go to anyone and they tell you, don't do this, don't do that. If it's your doctor, really ask the right questions. How is this supporting me? When I don't do A, B, C, D, and D, how is this supporting me? And also come to a certified coach. I wish I had done that. It has taken me 5 years, okay, from the time I started my journey of health. Because before I could just go to anyone, or I follow trends, they say, don't eat this, don't you jump on that trend. But you now need to learn the kind of foods that support your body. Of course, you're not going to just say, I'm going to only eat greens and cabbage, you get bored. No, health does not mean you're going to eliminate things. It depends on what exactly is supposed to be on my plate. If it's a balanced diet, I've given you examples. Focus more on the complex carbohydrates, things that you can actually see are grown. Today, if you feel like eating cake or chips, it is okay. Go and eat that, but should not be your everyday life. As much as they're delicious, it should not be your everyday life. But I think I should even give an opportunity to my husband to speak, because he he sort of experienced a challenge, and I think he'll also give us an insight of what he began doing that is really supporting him. Because I don't promote things like don't eat A, B, C, D, and E. I show you how is it supporting your body. Okay, so I can only say come to someone who is certified and has understood the journey. When it comes to now, that doctor, it was quite unfortunate for your friend, and now she has to end up reversing all the impacts that she did. But what I can say is begin balancing your plate. If you're having lunch, look at your plate. Do I have the carbohydrates? And if it's carbohydrates, is it something that has been grown? Okay. Look at the protein. Do I have maybe chicken? Do I have fish? And also the vegetables. If you can have those three things on your meals every single day, you're in a way better state. The sumbusas, the chapatis, they can come once in a while, but let's begin reducing them, because that is not what your body really needs. Your body needs nutrients that will support you every single day. But also talk to an expert. Talk to someone who has really walked the journey. I wouldn't be here if I had, as much as I went through the journey, I went ahead and studied it. But I can tell you, food is one of the most controversial things that we really experience. And I pray that one day we shall be able to overcome this. But there's a lot of information, a lot of things that they're selling to us, weight loss pills, drugs. You don't need all that. You just need to have the knowledge. And I believe what I've given you today, if you can begin practice, even just the smallest things, you're going to see a shift or a transformation in your health. I don't know if James, can you please give us just a little highlight about yourself, please? I kindly request. I think you'll give you a
Thank you,
better
Coach.
explanation. Yes.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes,
Hello,
James, just give us. Yes,
are
we
you
can hear
hearing
you.
me?
Yes.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes,
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is James Mulondi. I'm the husband to Charity. Just to straight to the point, she has supported me a lot as far as my health is concerned, because I was a person who was also in the average brackets of not minding about my health and focusing more on work. But until one time, the doctor told me that it seems that I'm getting hypertensive. And I got stressed, I got stuck. The doctor almost told me to stop everything. Stop eating this, stop eating that, stop eating this. I was so stressed. And then I went to my wife, I told her about it. So I told her, this is what the doctor is saying. I have gained a lot of weight. I don't know how I'm going to bring it down. So she encouraged me and told me, James, don't worry. We are going to move this journey together. I'm going to teach you how to take care of yourself. So I started on a journey of not skipping meals. That is one thing that she told me, that you're not going to skip any meal, but you're going to see how we can work on making sure that you're eating right. I'm a person who used to love pizza and those other fast foods. So number one, I had to stop them completely. I have finished now almost 1 year. I don't know how a pizza tastes. So I focused more on the grown foods, the ones that come from the ground. So one of the things that she told me, she encouraged me and said that in the morning hours, you can have more of the carbohydrates because you need them to give you energy to start the day. And then you can do a little bit of them during the lunchtime. And in the evening, you just need a little protein and you have a sleep. So she told me to avoid eating carbohydrates in the night. Things like posho, those heavy meals. So, and she also told me that I should have my meals a little early so that I can be able to almost sleep on an empty stomach. So I started on that journey. And then she also encouraged me. Of course, they told me to stop taking. So like right now, basically, I live a life where I don't take cooking oil. I take a lot of boiled foods, and also making sure that I make sure I have my carbohydrates in the morning, a little bit of it at lunchtime. But in between, she also encouraged me that I can have like fruits there before lunchtime, which I usually do. And within a period of almost 6 months, while I'm not skipping my meals, I had lost around close to 8 kilos. So, but the most important thing is the consistency. If you become consistent and you know what you want, you will always achieve what you want to see. Then I also told her, now sometimes I crave for maybe the fast foods. What could I do? Then she told me one thing, that one of the things you need to do is to make sure that you do the 30-70 rule. Make sure that you eat healthy meals 70%, and then the 30 you can try out once in a while so that you don't have a lot of craving. So basically, that is it that Coach has helped me with. Thank you so much, Coach.
All right. Thank you so much, James, for sharing that. And just to add, everyone's journey is different. For him, it came when he was diagnosed. So for you, you may just say, I'm not having any issues. I just need to have a proper structure, okay, on what I need to be doing. So those are the things I guide you with. I'm not here to sell you supplements. I'm not here to sell you, I don't know, drugs or whatever. I am just here to give you knowledge that you will use for the rest of your life. Because with knowledge, I mean, you can go so far. I've been able to keep this or doing this for 5 years. So it means that it works. With the knowledge, it works. When you learn how to do things for yourself, if it means waking up and maybe working on your breakfast, what can you begin doing? How do you begin doing? Those are the things that I talk about, and we walk the journey with you, because you being in a state where you're not so healthy, yes, it will take time for you to be able to reverse what has happened to your body. So it's just an encouragement for us. We're not saying you're going to eat your favorite chocolates or cake, but at the end of the day, you knowing when to eat them and how they support your body, and you not skipping meals. That is very, very important. Yeah, I just wanted to add on that.
All right. Thank you once
He's also
again.
saying he's also saying you need to do workouts as well. So those are things that we incorporate to help you on your day-to-day life. So yeah, it's a whole package. It's a holistic package, if I should say.
All right. Thank you, Coach Charity, for once again sharing and pouring a lot of information to us. This time we are trying to wind up. I would like to get some remarks from our own Coach Samuel Ibanda, the engine behind the TPC club. Coach, you are most welcome.
Thank you so much, Cyrus, for the invitation, and thank you so much, Coach, for the insightful session. We really want to apologize for the early mishaps, but again, we thank God that we've been able to stabilize, and here we are. It's quite insightful to all our participants. We are always glad to host you and have you for these sessions. Like Charity shared, everyone has their unique journey. So you need to be able to understand what works for you, and above everything, I think, seek professional advice. And Charity is one person I would recommend. Like, we don't bring anyone on this platform. So whoever we bring, these are people that we've really tried to find out what they do, and we really trust that they can be of benefit to you. So for me, it's just to appreciate everyone for coming through, and praying that whatever you've learned today will be beneficial. And thank you so much, Charity, for coming through. And we also want to take this honor to appreciate Mr. James for also sharing his story, and also for being a supportive husband on this journey. Thank you, and over to you, Bob.
All right. Thank you, Coach Samuel, for having shared to us. And as we try to wind up with our session, allow me extend a huge thank you to everyone who has showed up tonight. You made time for your health, and this is a major win already. To our own speaker, Charity, thank you for pouring so much wisdom and practical guidance to this session. And remember, our professional edge is not just found in books or boardrooms. It starts with how well we take care of ourselves. Stay connected. Until next time, stay healthy, stay sharp, and keep thriving beyond the titles. Good night. God bless
Good
you.
night. Good night. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night.
That's all.